Welcome back. Going into the second half here of episode 300. Let's start with some news. We kind of had some big news over this past week, especially for the second week of January, to be honest. Some of the bigger news, I don't know how long we'll talk about it, but Take-Two bought Zynga for $12.7 billion, double what Microsoft paid for Bethesda, which is kind of crazy to think about. It's also crazy for me to see that like the internet didn't really care, especially in the world of, you look back at the Bethesda coverage and that had like articles to the thousands written about it. There was discussions everywhere, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Take-Two bought Zynga for double the price. And they're like, oh yeah, no, it's a mobile game. Who cares?
Right.
Let's move forward.
It makes sense. I mean, the biggest thing, like I don't understand why,
The money, you mean? Or the
but
price?
why the price is that high, right? Because
Yeah.
12.8, that's a lot of money. And I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about like, okay, they have a huge amount of user data,
Yeah.
right? Zynga has an incredible amount of user data that might be useful. They have a huge amount of patents across all sorts of systems that are related to monetization, to cross promotion, through game structure, systems that adjust the game based on how you're playing the game. All these little tricks that mobile developers got really good at, a lot of them are patented by Zynga.
Right.
Right.
They were the first
And
to do it.
as monetization sort of like grows through our industry, like the weird virus situation thing that it is, owning those patents is going to end up being very valuable.
That is true.
Right. So I have a feeling that they bought it for the patents, not for anything else.
You're probably right.
Well,
It's also
on
Take
top of
Two,
that, though,
and they love being
Zynga
litigious.
Zynga's one of the biggest mobile or most lucrative mobile developers out there, and I mean, Take-Two has a giant umbrella of extremely lucrative IPs. So
Mhm.
not only are those patents potentially lucrative, but getting those IPs into mobile framework to then
That-
start getting tons of money off of that. I mean, look at GTA 5. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
GTA 5 is very similar to like Skyrim and Bethesda, where it's like anywhere they can get that, they want to get it. So now that they have the conveyor belt to get that on the mobile potentially,
True.
like,
I-
God only
Well,
knows
just
sky's
looking
the
at-
limit in terms of investing for them.
Yeah.
Just looking at their Wikipedia page of mobile games, anything with friends, that's all Zynga. So, Words with Friends, Chess with Friends, Bog with whatever with friends, that's all Zynga. All Farmville, anything Farmville is Zynga.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just the two off the top of the list there.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
they own a lot of IP on mobile for sure.
They're big, but they've been declining for a while. Right.
Absolutely,
like in terms
yeah.
of like it seems like a weird moment to buy unless you realize that for mobile, a large part of what your value is the amount of users you can reach. And
Mhm.
for all the people that are still playing those games, you have a tremendous amount of just cross promotion that you can do, people that you can reach out on, that you have data on how they spend, when they spend, how they spend, what time they spend, what moments in games are best to monetize, what moments in the games are not best to monetize. Like a lot of people are seeing this as a move for Take-Two to move into mobile. I think it's as much about bringing monetization from mobile into console and PC. And I don't think anybody's going to like that, but I don't understand why you would buy them otherwise.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
it's a little bit of my concern.
GTA already has, I mean, that game's monetized all hell, right? Like there's a reason they haven't made GTA 6 because GTA 5 is still like one of the top earning video games every
Too much
week.
money.
Right? Like, they spend a shit
That's
ton of money.
GTA 5 mobile.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the other thing is as soon like that's probably going to be the first big thing they announce is GTA 5 mobile. 100% right. And that game, just like Call of Duty mobile, just like any other of the big IP that make their way to mobile, it will make a fuck ton of money.
I mean, they probably just looked at Zynga after seeing PUBG Mobile and seeing what that's done.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we need to do that. Throw money at that immediately. What's the easiest way we can do that? We'll buy a company that's already doing it.
Yep.
Like, and let's just
Yeah.
right in there.
Makes a lot of sense. A lot of money though. Almost 13 billion for that. Also,
I calculated you could fund 250,000 or
I s-
what was it, 25,000? Like
I saw that
you can
tweet.
fund tens of thousands of indie developers at $500,000 each for that amount of money. Like
Yeah.
12.8 billion is not a normal like that number makes no wait. How many was it? Because it was
I think you said it was 250,000 is what you said.
250,000 developers. If that is correct, 250,000 developers at $500,000. $500,000. That's the entire indie scene.
Yeah.
Every hit in the indie scene could have been funded at $500,000 just to buy Zynga.
$1 billion is a lot of money. It turns out it's an absurd amount of money.
It's more than you think amount of money.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem.
They're now unfortunately passed, but a famous streamer Reckful has a very good video on what $1 billion is. He breaks it down in like a very eloquent way, and like Notepad or some shit or Paint, and it puts it into perspective. And it's just like, oh my god, that's so much fucking money. It's absurd.
12.8 of those.
Yeah, crazy, absolutely crazy.
In 2021, Zynga expects to deliver revenue of 2.78 billion. So that's just 2021.
Yeah.
So in 1 year, they made $2.75 billion.
And they're on the decline, like Rami said, right? Like they're not anywhere near the biggest.
Give me a second. I'm hearing my doorbell. I don't know who's at my door.
Okay, it's Phil. He's letting.
It's Phil. Yeah, I was going to say.
Uncle Phil.
It's fucking
About that thing you said.
G-Man in green suits.
Yeah. Here, I'll mute his mic. Yeah, he's. We'll see if Rami comes back. You never know. Yeah. So that happened. That was last Monday. They started the week out with that. We can talk real quick about God of War because that came out. I think it topped, at least according to this article, about 50,000 concurrent players. I've seen a ton of people in my chat discuss the game for the first time jumping in on PC. They're absolutely loving that. Cohh, I know you jumped in. How is the PC port of the old God of War? Is it all good?
Great.
Yeah.
It is awesome. It runs well. It looks beautiful. I actually love playing on a mouse and keyboard. I'm starting to do.
You're playing mouse and keyboard.
Absolutely, and it's awesome. It really works.
How does that? How does that? What is the control scheme then?
WASD is normally, Q is block. C for me is fire arrow. Everything is kind of like nice and centered over there, and I have the side mouse button does target mode, so I can just like super easily switch between targeting mode and normal attacks. Left is light, right is heavy on the mouse. And it's working great. It's working absolutely great. Space is dodge. So yeah.
I guess
so
boss
the fact
spoiler,
that you're not,
but
go ahead.
I'm showing the footage. Go ahead.
The fact that you're not playing it on controller, it triggers me a little bit now because doing CD-ROM-a-thon, I am forced most times to play like third-person games and keyboard mouse, and I miss my controller. I miss using my controller and like moving around the sprites with comfort. But now it's like as it is now, I'm playing all these CD-ROM games and it's all like tank controls and it's just, it's keyboard and mouse and it's like you gotta. And a lot of times the old games, like they didn't take the mouse into consideration when making the game. So it's just the fact that you went back to keyboard mouse for this. Bile. A little bit of throw up came up into my throat.
I know that Shroud is also playing for the first time and also using keyboard and mouse on the hardest difficulty, and he's doing fine. So seems fully adaptable and a perfectly fine way to play, even if it does feel a little like heretical. To play
I started on the controller. And I played that for a little bit, and it was fine. There's no issues with the controller on PC. But then I was like, let me try mouse and keyboard. And sure enough, I very quickly was like, oh, I like this better. This is
well, I'll tell you, like, it makes absolute sense. Like, obviously, I was just joking about that. Like, I'm not like a controller, keyboard, mouse. Like, I'm not like on the either side of that. I don't give a shit. But it makes sense with this because there's so much aiming in this game with like the axe and stuff, like throwing it and shit. Like, I completely understand how this would be very, very good with KBM.
Yeah.
God, the fights in this game are so good.
Hey, it's still a very exceptional game, it turns out.
Just, ugh. Game developer brain is just like angry at this.
I booted it up I've been playing Horizon off stream, weirdly enough. But it's because I I have this giant monitor over here. It's more of a TV, but it's 48-inch, 4K, 120 hertz that just has Reddit on it right now.
Right.
Okay. And
Just
so
using it for Reddit.
yeah, its current use is Reddit. But I was like, I'm gonna play some games and enjoy shit in like 4K,
Yeah.
proper HDR, like 120 FPS. So I started Horizon. Game
Such a good choice.
Came out in like 2017. It runs 100
It's
FPS.
still-
Looks just stupidly gorgeous.
Everything about that game is gorgeous.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
I've been having a great time with it. I booted this up Friday night, I think. Turned everything up. I turned DLSS off, so it would actually be like a full 4K true render.
Right.
I was 60. I didn't have it was an Epic thing, so I didn't have a FPS meter anywhere. I wasn't running a third party. But I started the game and was walking around in God of War 4K on a 120 hertz monitor with HDR and looks stupid gorgeous. You could see the fucking pores on Kratos' skin. You're like, damn, that guy's got pores on his skin. That looks great. The tree dropping branch, or the tree's branches crackling and dropping, and it looked phenomenal. I want more games like that.
I need to put this on the Steam Deck and see how it works.
Yeah. Oh, you have you've got a Steam Deck in hand. Is that can you even talk about that? Are you breaking some sort of NDA?
Yeah. No, there's one here.
Oh my God. Look at that.
I'm allowed to talk about the hardware, and I'm allowed to talk about my own games.
Oh, okay. But not other games.
That's it. No, yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of like, I want to try this on the Steam Deck, but I can't tell you about it.
Hold it. I want to see how big that thing
So
is.
I heard you got it. And by the way, was there somebody at your door, Rami? When you heard the doorbell?
Yeah, it was Phil Spencer.
He was asking to use the Steam Deck. He doesn't have one yet.
Yeah. No, it's
there should be a couple of thugs that I hired from Colorado. They're gonna probably
take the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
No, it was a wrong delivery. Somebody was delivering food for another number, but I usually order from that place. So they were like, "It's for you." I'm like, "No, it's not." Oh, yeah, you're right. It's for the other number. But I've had the Steam Deck for a while now, and it's to test the compatibility of my own games with the Steam Deck. Right, that's why they're sending them out to developers and friends of the company. And I mean, I did nothing, and my games all work great. It's incredible. Like the compatibility is really, really good. The sticks, because I can talk about the hardware. I just checked the email again. The sticks feel great. They're remarkably good, and you might see that the shape of the device is a little odd, but when you hold it, it holds really, really well. It's heavier than a Switch, but it feels lighter than a Switch, just because it's far more comfortable to hold. Sticks are great. Buttons are great.
You probably have large hands as well. How does it?
I have giant.
Yeah, is a giant hand man. How does that thing feel? Like if you're saying it feels great, that's really good news.
As a giant hand man, it feels great. I've had some people with smaller hands try it.
Yeah.
And they say the same thing. It's just really smartly built. You have some extra button paddles here. You've got your triggers and all that. So it's all there. These two things that replace mice and stuff are awesome. And they do a weird little vibration when you move over them that helps you sort of feel how much you're moving, which is a little weird, but it works after a bit of practice. So, yeah. And wait, let me just boot up one of my games because, again, I can't show you.
Yeah.
I feel like we wouldn't be doing our chats a service if we didn't mention how much we appreciate you showing your deck on stream.
Yes. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. It's a nice deck.
And really even though you have big hands, it still looks big in your hands, which is an accomplishment.
Yeah, it's true.
I want to ask about the battery life.
Good. Surprisingly good. I will say.
It didn't even occur to me that you could download. Theoretically, you could download God of War and play God of War on a plane on a handheld device.
Yeah.
That's kind of
wow, the reflection on that is kind of incredible. But the screen is great.
Is it an OLED screen? Do you know what type of screen it is?
I have no idea, besides that it's pretty.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head the specs of
Does it have
either.
outputs as well as inputs for the visual? Does it have an HDMI
I
out?
don't know. There's a USB-C at the top, which I guess would probably work because it's effectively a desktop computer, right?
Yeah.
So if you put a USB HDMI out, then it should technically work. Like there's not really a reason why it wouldn't, as long as the driver is there. But yeah, Nicholas phone works. Just
7-inch
great.
LCD touchscreen display with a slight disappointment, as the Switch has OLED panel.
Yeah.
Will
it's just
suffer.
LCD.
Will likely offer up superior contrast and picture quality.
I will say, like,
so the Switch has OLED, but this one is LCD.
The new one does.
Yeah, the new one does. Yeah.
I mean, you literally have black and white here, and let me tell you, the contrast between that black and white is it's good. Like that's not a There's no problem with how that looks. Yeah, it just feels great. It warms a little, but I haven't had it get really hot. The fans are relatively quiet, but it doesn't overheat. The battery life is good. I've been playing games on it a lot, which I can't talk about because that would be against my NDA.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been playing tons of games on it, and it just it works. It does the thing.
The screen being a vastly different size, it like immediately when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's like a Game Gear. Like it reminded me like seriously of like a Game Gear with how big it is.
Yeah. No, I've played all sorts of games on it, but I really can't go into it, and I don't want to like accidentally step over my NDA. So
yeah,
you don't want to. Yeah, it's been a good time.
They're one of the
they're kind of important.
Yeah, they're kind of a big deal in the industry.
Plus, Gabe has like a knife connection, so
and that too. Yeah,
I don't want to.
Those
are supposed.
Those are supposed to start shipping at the end of February, if I recall correctly.
Soon, right?
Story. Yeah. So, people.
I don't know. It's been a good time.
Soon. That's cool.
It'll be a good time for handheld gaming. I also have that analog pocket thing, and that thing is also great.
So. Yeah, I saw that. That's shipped, right? That's out.
Yeah. That's. I'm pretty sure that it's out.
I want to say it's out. Yeah.
Okay.
So. What are you talking about?
I think it's out. The analog pocket.
It's like you can explain it a lot better than I can, Rami, if you have it.
It is here, wait. It is a Game Boy.
Wait, is that like a Steam Deck Game Boy version?
It's just literally a Game Boy. It actually plays original.
It takes carts.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, it takes a lot of different carts, which is kind of sick. And it boots them in like real emulation.
It's basically
when you say analog, is that the name of the brand or something? What like
that's the name of the brand? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's backlit. It feels great. USB-C. It has a dock that allows you to play on the TV and attach like a PlayStation to it. Great battery life, incredible sound. It can upscale. It can do all sorts of effects. It even works. This was wild. When I finished the first Golden Sun, I wanted to transfer my save data to Golden Sun: The Lost Age. And I still have my original Game Boy Advance, and I actually used the original link cable from an original Game Boy Advance to the analog pocket, and it worked.
That's awesome.
That's
now, that isn't wild. Awesome. That really, blew my mind.
This is the first time fucking hearing of this. I can't believe it. So it works with Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
I'm guessing original Game Boy, yeah. And it says it works with cartridge adapters. I'm not sure what that means for Game Gear, Neo Geo Pocket.
So basically, you put a thing in here that then accepts those other cartridges.
Right? Does it come with it?
You can buy those separately. I didn't buy.
Oh, you buy the adapter separately. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a giant Game Boy Advance collection. I don't have all the other ones. So
sure.
I've been replaying.
I mean, there were some really cool games on Game Gear, like that were only on Game Gear.
Yeah.
And to get the adapter and like, not have to fucking lug the Game Gear around with its fucking 8 batteries that last 20 minutes.
Hell yeah, man, that thing was big.
So grab that thing because the pocket it's an incredibly smart device.
Yeah. What does the pocket run? What's that cost?
$290-ish. I think.
A little steep.
It's a little steep, but to replay all my nostalgia, Because like this was my first console, right? The Game Boy Advance was my first console that I owned after the Police Station that my dad bought me.
Still high.
219.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You can also use it digital audio workstation built in called Nano Loop.
Yeah, it has Nano Loop on it, which is really fun if you like tinkering with music a bit.
That's a cool little thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
think it's selling very well. They're pretty hard to find. Yeah.
I have both the deck and the pocket on me all the time now, and it's just, if you know, like it's pretty well known that the copy protection of Destiny doesn't work on Linux or on Linux compatibility layers.
Yeah.
So as soon as they fix that, you're never going to see me again. Nobody's ever going to see me again. I'm just gone.
Yeah.
There will be the only time I will have like a real human presence is when the battery runs out.
Yeah, and you got to charge. Makes sense.
And that's it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Have you? Because I'm just reading about this. You can develop. It's a you can make your own games for the Pocket. GB
with
Studio.
the Game Boy Studio. Yeah. Which is an incredible platform. It's like a game maker tool for Game Boy games that you can actually, if you have a cartridge writer, you can have the games work on actual Game Boys. Which, like, I have my games on Nintendo, right? I have a NES with a SNES with Super Crate Box on it.
Yeah.
Because
that's kind of
people
wild.
backboard it. People backboard it. This is one of my favorite possessions. Is this SNES with Super Crate Box? Wait, I'm gonna grab it in a second.
You don't need a cartridge thingy. You can run. It says you can create generate proprietary .pocket files with GB Studio and run them off your SD card.
Yeah, so you can do that, but you could also write it to a cartridge and then put it in an original Game Boy and run it.
Sure.
Which is cool.
If you want.
That's the cooler part for me. That's the cooler part. The part that you can put it on an SD and play it on the device. That's cool. The part that I could put it on a Game Boy cartridge, put it in my 19 whatever it was Game Boy Advance, and then run it. That's fucking mind blowing to me.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to be backwards.
This is a trip. Wait.
Okay. Wait, this is
you go talk about real content, and I'm gonna grab this stupid thing.
Wait, this is a SNES that has his game on it. Is that what he's grabbing? I think that's what he said.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I dropped a link in all you guys' chats if you.
Oh yeah, for the analog.
Just a link to the analog pocket. Well, let's break their website real quick and then
there you go.
Wait 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then go back and check it out.
There you go. Bunch of Phil Spencer quotes. I'm gonna wait till Rami gets back to discuss that. Inscryption crossed 1 million copies sold this past week.
Good for them.
Congrats to D Mullins Games. Now, how many people worked on that game? Out of curiosity, do either of you know? Was it Rami might actually.
It was an indie game.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how many.
Was because I know D Mullins is like the head guy, but does he have like a team or was it just him? Do you know, Zeke? I think you might be more familiar with it than me and Cohh.
What are we talking about? Inscryption or what are we?
Yeah. How many people worked on that? Do you know?
Oh shit, I don't know. Okay. I really don't.
All right, we'll ask Rami.
I just know it's under Daniel Mullins Games in Steam, so I don't know how many people. I let the credits roll, but I kind of talk over them.
Sure. I mean, streamer way. Rami, show us your Super Famicom. Oh, okay. So it's an actual cartridge that they made you. That's pretty badass.
Actual cartridge. So I have a cartridge of my game for one of the game consoles that.
Now, is that an old Famicom or is that an HDMI out Famicom?
No. This is an original. Normal. Yeah.
And it runs RCA.
RCA and coax.
That's crazy.
Yeah, with the weird multi-out cable thing that then goes to the other thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking Super Crate Box.
That's pretty badass. A fan made you that? Is that what you said, or who got that for you?
So there's a bunch of guys that do demakes of popular indie games, and then send the cartridge over.
Yeah, which badass.
According to his website, Daniel Mullins says, "I'm the primary creator of my games, but that doesn't mean I can do it all myself. The talented Jonas Senzel makes the music and sound effects, and I sometimes partner with 3D artists when extra dimension is needed." So it's mostly just him and the music guy.
That's badass. Congrats to him.
Very cool.
Crossing 1 million sold. That's I mean, what does
Inscryption?
previous games do? Yeah, I'm just curious. What does previous games sell? Probably not 1 million. That's a lot. That's a lofty
Well,
number.
Coney Island is sitting at 9,518 overwhelmingly positive reviews. If
Oh,
we
okay.
take the
I
box
thought you were saying
lighter
9,000
number,
sales.
9,518 reviews. If we take the box lighter number for that year, we end up at 542,000 copies sold.
Oh, he's
Approximately.
doing just fine.
I think he'll be.
He's doing
I
great.
think he'll be fine.
Well, he'll be doing all right, I think.
Well, hold on a second.
He
Now,
sold some games.
was that Pony Island numbers? Like, I'd be curious what was the numbers of it before Inscryption. I'm wondering if it had a big jump.
Oh, maybe. Could have been the case.
Because Pony Island was
no.
like, I thought it was like a niche, like a cult classic game. Like,
I don't think so. I think
no, okay.
Let's put it this way: a cult classic is the kind of game that I have heard about, and I don't know anybody else who's heard about it. To me, right? Like that's kind of how I see a cult. But Pony Island, if you look at it, recent reviews is just 264 out of that 9,518.
Okay.
So same thing.
Okay.
You use the box lighter number. That's 10,000 copies sold in the 3 months. So
yeah,
I don't think that had big of a
He's
and then he had
fine.
the Hex before that, right? The Hex was
after Pony Island, I think.
After, yeah, it was after.
Yeah.
That didn't do as well.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't as good of a game as Pony Island.
It really wasn't.
Yeah.
And Inscryption is just fucking mind-blowing.
I'm still on the Pony Island boat. Like, I like Pony Island better than Inscryption. Not by much,
It's okay.
but
It's okay.
Yeah.
We can all be wrong.
Well, congrats regardless to old D Mullins. He's doing pretty good out there, as well as Devolver Digital for picking him. They've got a great whoever they're like is in charge of like, yes, I'd like one of these, please. They just choose winners over there. They got Loop Hero, they got Inscryption. They know how to pick them. They know how to pick them.
We were the first game they ever picked them. Remember? Well, one of the first.
Well, they messed up once, but you know, sometimes
the thing about damn. Okay, you know what? I have nothing. I'm gonna
thing about
leave
what,
that
Rami? I didn't mean to steal from your story.
Point for you. I'm just gonna cry over here. And no, the Devolver team. They're such the thing that works about Devolver is that they're incredibly down to earth, but also they just really like the games. That's it. They're not signing them because they'll make tons of money. Yeah, sure, that's part of it. But like their process is effectively like, yo, we having fun with this? Yeah. Think we can sell this? Like, do you think the audience will like it? Yeah. Okay. Well, let's sign it. And it means that every now and then they sign something where you're like, there is no way this is going to do well. But they just care about the game. They just care about the developer. They just want that to exist. That's cool.
Well, I've been a Devolver, like full disclosure, I've been a Devolver fanboy forever. And one of the things that made me that way was they'll come out with this, a Devolver style game, and then you'll see like some cutesy, some like innocuous, like family friendly thing, and you're like, I wonder who published fucking Devolver did this. Like, I love the sheer diversity of their game library.
Yeah,
like you said, like they pick games that they like, and it doesn't have to be, fucking metal music, blood and guts. And I like that.
It's true. They're doing good. Real quick, and then I want to jump into all the stuff Phil said in this interview. Hitman had like a stream or something. I completely missed this when they did this year 2 reveal earlier.
Oh yeah, the freelancer stuff.
Yeah, they announced a whole ton of stuff. January 20th. It'll be up on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and S, Epic Game Store. And it is also coming to Xbox Game Pass, where you can play Hitman 1, 2, and 3, the trilogy, all on Game Pass, which is pretty badass. The other big component to this is on the 20th, that game's launching into VR for the PC. And it's like full-on VR. So you have to like, grab a knife and throw the knife at it type of situation. It looked really fun. It kind of has me jonesing to set up my index just to see what Hitman feels like in that. Because when you go up and choke someone, you have to go up and you have to do this to like choke someone. That's gotta feel something weird, odd. I don't know. I don't know what that sensation is, but I kind of want to find out. They've got shooting. They've got, all the Hitman stuff. You can karate chop people. You can get into fights. You have to like peer around corners by literally doing this. Seems like it would be a really fun game for Hitman, and also
I really
quite
hope
hilarious.
I really hope somebody clips that, by the way. So you got to go up and do this, and I don't really know what it feels like, but I really want to find out.
Yeah. So
Just
I
that.
was very close to say, or very mindful to not say, I really want to find out. I did not say that part, but they can clip Cohh's part there.
Well, the thing is, JP, anybody who's ever choked anybody out will tell you, like, you don't do it like this.
You don't do it like this. That's not the
No,
Hitman way.
you get their windpipe in the crux of your arm there, and you squeeze, you flex, and then it closes up.
That's the Hitman way. That's the
By the way,
Hitman way.
you definitely did say you really wanted to find out.
Did I? I thought I consciously made an
you
effort to not
no,
say that.
that came out the old mouthpiece.
Maybe
You
I
did.
said it's gotta feel weird, it's gotta feel different, but then I said I really want to find out. So it is
You know
there.
that you
Little
all
extra
talking
editing.
about murder is going to end up with the CIA calling me what I'm doing here, right? Like,
Yeah, no, we're fine. This all just
You're
screws you
good.
over. You're fucked here. Situation. Yeah. And then the other thing they announced, what was the term they used, Rami? Because you said, I forget what it was. They're like
the
roguelike.
freelancer stuff.
Yeah, freelancer.
Yeah, that's kind of like the roguelike stuff. Yeah.
It's Hitman
Wait,
roguelike.
freelancer.
Yeah, and they're calling it freelancer within the Hitman universe.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be, it ultimately for me, it solves the Hitman issue of when that game comes out, I go in, I kill all the targets once, then I put the game down. Now with it, it's like a proper roguelike where you have a base. You only have your things in that base that then you can use in those levels. They put up a bunch of rules and restrictions for it, but I think that's coming sometime this spring, as well as a couple other maps. But it was a whole big stream they put out over at IO Interactive. It seems like they're doing really, really, really well after leaving Square. They're really, they know what the fuck they're doing with that IP, and can't wait to see all that stuff. And I can't wait to see what they're doing with the Bond IP, because they're making one of those games whenever that comes out, whenever they want to show that type of stuff. Let's talk about this Phil Spencer interview. I think it was originally with the New York Times, but he said a bunch of quotes in there that are worth talking about. One of the first ones, he says that Phil Spencer thinks the Xbox Series X and S PS5 stock isn't the problem. It's the demand. He also came out and said that the Xbox
What?
Series X and S are, I think, the best-selling Xboxes ever.
Me and Cohh both did the same look where it's like, it's not stock hand. It's like, wait, that's the same.
It's kind of the same thing. Yeah, but it,
Listen,
when
the
Phil
problem
says
is not that we didn't make enough. The problem is that too many people want it. That's the problem. How dare they? We made the exact right amount, and then they went ahead and wanted more. More. That's all the consumers want is more.
He said, I'm trying to find the exact quote. Essentially what he's saying is that the demand for consoles is that it's as big as it's ever been for new consoles in the history of video games. And so that's partially why, like, it's...
Oh, so he's saying that they made the proper amount if there wasn't like COVID and all this stuff that's encouraging more than normal.
Well,
and the problem is still stock.
The problem's still stock, but he's saying that it's not because of the semiconductor shortage or the material shortage. It's just that the demand is so high. If that makes sense. Like if demand was where it was. He's saying
they fucked up.
The issue is different than semiconductor shortage.
Right. So he's saying Microsoft fucked up, not making enough, not they don't have the opportunity to make enough.
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
If I'm trying to translate what he's saying properly.
I feel like we need some exact quotes.
Yeah, no, I'm pulling up the article on New York Times. Oh, wait a minute, I can't because I'm not a fucking subscriber. Give me a second to find this article, guys.
They get legal access to the New York Times by disabling JavaScript.
Yeah. If I can. Some of the other quotes for this is that he is calling for a cross-platform ban program. GameSpot.
Finally, a good use for NFT.
GameSpot.com says Xbox Phil Spencer has revealed that Microsoft would like to help get rid of bad actors in the online gaming space by creating a multi-network program whereby bans that apply to Xbox, for example, might carry over to networks from other companies. So if you get banned on Xbox, you get banned on PlayStation.
I think they should partner and do that with my Twitch chat as well. So if you get banned in my Twitch chat, then you get banned from Xbox, Steam,
that's
Twitter.
Yeah. There's been a long discussion about that in the Twitch space this past year, where if you get banned in like Asmongold's chat, you get banned in our chat. Yeah.
I remember a few years back being in where I was talking to some people that were interested in working on something like that, and they were talking about doing ban webs.
Yeah.
Where you could opt in and opt out with other streamers. And if you were in a web of streamers, anytime somebody got banned in one channel, it instantly banned them in all the others.
Yep.
Same as unbanning.
Yep.
They have bots that do that.
Yeah. There's a couple of them already.
I think there's something there, right? Like, because it doesn't make as much sense as you would hope, because most people are just on one platform most of the time. But we do have a huge problem with toxicity, and we do have a huge problem with really aggressive misbehavior. And I think, when people hear something like this, they immediately go like, "Oh, I got banned for this little thing once." I think if we're going to do this, we need to be much better about what we ban for. We need more granularity, right? We need to be able to ban somebody for a little bit or forever, because right now it's you're banned or you're not banned, right? If we're going to make this you're banned from all gaming platforms thing, then we need to take that a lot more seriously. But I see why he's coming at it from that perspective, because it's an industry-wide problem. It's really bad for the industry's reputation. It's really bad for people's enjoyment of games. It's really bad for people staying in games. It's really bad for the developers. It's bad for the console makers. If there was a way to actually punish people for being toxic assholes, that would actually improve things, right?
Right.
But we need to worry about whether the cost is not too high. That's kind of
I think it's much more of like exactly like you said, it shouldn't be a binary thing. Like if you mess up in one time in one place, then you're banned everywhere. Like for instance, taking into account the Twitch thing, like even if it's just more information. So for instance, right now on Twitch, you can click on a name and you can see that person's chat history in your channel. Yes, chat, all of it. However, what would be interesting now, I personally obviously have a lot of rules, and I would never have a situation where I would be part of a ban web, because that wouldn't make a lot of sense for people in other channel and people in mine. But for instance, if I clicked on somebody's name, seeing what channels they're banned in and the last 5 things they said in that channel, like that would be very good information, because then it's like somebody acts a fool in my channel. I click on it. I see they're not banned anywhere else. Maybe the dude's having a bad day. It's probably not a big deal. Maybe it's out of context or something. Somebody like starts trolling in chat. I click on it. I see they're banned in 5 of my friends' channels, all for the same shit. And it's like, well, that's good information to have. That's good info to have.
For sure.
So like that's a completely different situation. But same thing goes for this Microsoft thing. It's like if somebody gets banned or if somebody gets an infraction, like having a very well kept, easily accessed historical thing, like for instance, somebody in chat said you get banned in one game, you get banned in all of them. Like, yeah, that is kind of a huge deal. But at the same time, you ban someone in a game and you see they've been banned from 5 other games. It's like, okay, this is a serial offender. This dude is going to be a problem. Which could then, of course, really play into that kind of thing. So yeah, a lot of that information is just not available, and it would be super useful.
I agree.
I can see why they're coming at it from that way, especially with how much damage it's doing to the industry at large. And it's a problem that we've been trying to solve industry-wide for a very long time. We just have never found a better way than if somebody is an asshole, ban them.
Right.
And that's the best solution we have, but it's so small that like if you ban somebody from forums now, being an asshole there, and now you have to ban them in the forums, and then they're going to be an asshole on Twitter about your game, and you can't ban them there, so they'll just be an asshole in other games.
Right.
It's that kind of thing.
Yeah. The exact quote was, something I would love for us to be able to, this is from Phil Spencer, something I would love for us to be able to do, and this is a hard one as an industry, is when someone gets banned in one of our networks, is there a way for us to ban them across the other networks, he said. Alternatively, the GameSpot's writing, alternatively, Spencer said he would embrace a system that allows players to bring their, quote, banned user list, end quote, to them on another platform. He goes on to say, quote, and I'd love to be able to bring them to other networks where I play. So this is the group of people that I choose not to play with because I don't want to have to recreate that in every platform that I play video games on. Now, that's also kind of interesting, like a user-created, user-curated ban list. Not platform list.
Exactly what I was going to bring up next was
like user
grassroots kind of a thing where like you and like-minded streamers have a I don't know, just a fucking spreadsheet.
Yeah.
That you can all go to and look at.
Yeah.
And say your mod bans someone, and then you can go look at see if the username shows up on your friends list or your friends also banned list to see if when they say oh, it's a misunderstanding or whatever, you can go to their list and go that's a lot of misunderstandings. That's 5 different misunderstandings.
But
you misunderstood using racial terms in 12 different channels? That's a lot of misunderstanding.
I'm seeing a trend here. I can draw a conclusion, maybe. I don't know what happened.
I think the other thing...
Your internet's dropping, Rami. So, yeah, there you go. There you go.
What is happening? I'm tiny all of a sudden.
It's the internet dropping issue. You grow smaller as your internet pipe gets smaller. I don't make the
rules. That's how it goes?
Yeah.
Phil, stop it.
Phil's on the dial. That's right. He's just dialing it down a little bit.
He's a little bit too loud. Let's go and just turn it to the left.
For agreeing with you, Phil, really?
You didn't fully agree with him, though. That's the issue.
That's true.
All or nothing.
No, I think the other part of this is that if there was some sort of cross-platform collaboration, there could also just be more resources poured into these systems, right? If this is like a cross-platform thing, they can work together with the strengths of Sony's knowledge and Nintendo's knowledge and Microsoft's knowledge and Steam's knowledge and Epic's knowledge of how to deal with these things and spend more time making sure that there's less wrongful bans, that there are better systems to respond or appeal bans, that, if the system gets bigger, it automatically should get better. But whether that's actually what happens is, of course, a big question. So the idea, I get it. But, implementation is everything here.
The other big headline that came out of this interview was Phil Spencer saying that Xbox is, quote, not a free speech platform, end quote. And IGN added for politics. He says, that's not why we exist. A full quote is, we see all positives and negatives of the human condition. We have people who propose to each other and get married on Xbox Live, Spencer said about Xbox Online services. We also have conversations about politics and other things that happen. One of the things we've stated about our social network is we're not a free speech platform. We're a platform around interactive entertainment and video games, and we're not there to allow all kinds of social discourse to happen on our platform. That's not why we exist. We're not there to allow any conversation to happen on our platform, Spencer says, and that, and more than that, Xbox Live is simply not designed for that kind of politicization. I can't say that word for some reason. It's very difficult to come to Xbox Live and say, okay, I want to go create a political party on the platform. You can kind of twist the tools and try to get there, but it's just not set up for general purpose conversations or community. It's really set up for community around interactive entertainment and the games that run on our platform, and that's the way we invest. So you can obviously infer there, if you've been on the internet before, this was a very widely discussed point from this interview.
Which is wild to me, because he's effectively saying we're not the government.
Right, yeah.
That's kind of
minimum, yeah.
They're a business. They have the right to kick you off because you snort your nose wrong.
Yeah.
And that's how it works.
It's the same as any platform.
Really?
I mean, that's been a huge misunderstanding here in America with all the stuff that's been going on Twitter, for instance. And people being like, oh, this major person gets kicked off Twitter. Oh, I thought this was America. No, Twitter's a private company. They can do whatever the hell they want for any reason.
You know what's even funnier?
That has nothing to do with
it.
Not even America is free speech. You say the wrong thing and they'll put you in jail. If you make threats, if you absolutely.
This is a funny thing because this keeps happening in the Netherlands and other countries in Europe where, a lot of what we read is still international and a lot of international news is still from the US. And people misunderstand when they hear people talk about free speech. They think that it also applies here in the Netherlands.
Huh.
It doesn't. We don't. That's not how the Netherlands works.
Right.
We have certain levels of freedom of expression, but we also have laws that say like, well, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Well,
like, you know,
it's that old adage, like it's freedom of speech, not freedom from repercussions or freedom
Right.
from consequences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
yeah.
so yeah, we actually also have like legal things that you can't say that the government prohibits, right? Like discriminatory statements or statements that harm like specified protected groups or blah blah. There's a bunch of laws that go like, well, you can say whatever you want except for these things.
Sure.
Except for everything on this list.
Here's the
Yeah,
list.
just this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so there's a lot from the interview. It is on the New York Times if you are a subscriber over there, but there's ways to find all the headlines on,
you
other
can't insult
websites.
somebody in chat is saying that I can't insult the king of the Netherlands. I didn't know that.
I mean,
Careful.
Yeah, I
Hey,
would believe that to be true.
Careful. Yeah. I don't even think you can talk about it, Rami.
Well, Rami's hung out with the king of the Netherlands.
I
haven't
hung
you?
out with the king.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good dude. I can't say otherwise. So,
Y'all
you
are
know.
good. You cool.
There's
Yeah,
no beef there.
that's the only thing
Okay.
I can say. It's like good time.
Hey, we're big in the Netherlands. We can't risk this.
It is true.
Yeah, no.
That is true.
Hey Willem, sorry hè. Hey, dat was grapje hè. Was grapje.
I hope he's saying good things. Can someone fact
I
check?
really hope he is.
I don't.
That was that.
Yeah, I don't.
That was real.
His
right?
camera got
Yeah.
smaller when he said that, guys. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know
That's
about
not. That's not necessarily a good sign. Moving along in the news, AGDQ is over. It raised $3.4 million.
And somebody beat Sekiro blindfolded
I saw
in
that
2
as well.
hours.
Yeah, that pissed me off as well. That's an unfortunate one there. It was for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Yeah, and someone beat Sekiro with blindfolded in 2 hours. It was.
I couldn't beat that game in 6 hours with 3 eyes.
I couldn't either. You're not wrong about that. Yeah. Did it? I saw the Sekiro run. I heard about that. I feel like the further that time passes and the more of these that happens, I've tuned in less to AGDQ. Zeke, I know you usually keep a pretty close eye on it. Were there any good runs that you would want to highlight, send people in to watch, stuff like that?
I love the races. The races are oftentimes like my favorites. Seeing people go up head to head and see the close races. I also like. I love it when people like accidentally get a world record. They weren't even expecting it. They were just like, "That was a pretty good run. What was my time?"
Sure.
That's a world record. And they're just like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
You know,
It's pretty awesome.
like there was a Jack. It was like a pumpkin-headed main character. It was Jack something, and I can't remember the name of it. But that was fun to watch at the end because the dude was like, "That's a new world record," and he like got kind of emotional about it. That was really cool.
That's awesome.
Showing like the games that you wouldn't like. They're more and more. They're doing like different styles of games, like the Step Mania.
Really?
Run was really cool to see, like someone doing like these crazy modded, like fan made Step Mania games or Step Mania songs.
Were they Polish by chance? Because the Poles have been the world record winners in the DDR and Step Mania community for a very long time.
I'm sure there was a few of them, but the person who was running it was American. I believe.
All
American or Canadian.
Yeah.
But that was really cool to watch. I also like watching the games that are just
Ukrainian,
like
maybe
they're
not
too
Polish.
fast to keep up with.
Hmm.
Like people who play. I don't think it was. Oh, it was Tetris Attack.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
playing Tetris Attack or any Tetris style game,
They're
they
too
go
fast.
so fucking fast. You don't even know what the fuck's going on. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, those.
And
those
the
people's
thing
brains
is, the
way
thing
too
with
crazy.
something like that is oftentimes they can seed, they can like manipulate the RNG. So the first round is known. They'll know what the first round is. But they even said, they were like, we can get the first round so we know exactly what's coming. But every round after that is completely random. And knowing that, watching them go so fast and do this so quickly, faster than my eyes can keep up, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
the other run I really enjoyed since I played it myself. I 100%ed it. At least got all the achievements, and finally knew what was going on. I watched the Hades race. I
saw that on Twitter. Yeah,
6-weapon Hades race, and that was fucking fun. And I was like, I know what they're doing, sort of, but it's still way too fast for me to keep up.
Yeah,
that was crazy. That was really good.
How do they handle RNG? Are they using like pre-seeded runs, or is it?
There is a sort of
because you don't control what is going to drop, what abilities you're going to get in that game. It's part of the game.
You can hedge your bets.
Okay.
In Hades, but you could yes, it is random, but they do have certain mods on it that make it raceable and make it not as random, because there's certain the dataless hammer that improves your weapon.
Yeah.
There's one or two of them that are head and shoulders above the rest. So if you don't get those, there's no fucking run.
Sure.
So they have a mod that just gives you those ones. Gives you those bonuses or whatever. And they're accepted mods in the speedrunning community, because if you don't get them, you're not going to get a good time. So it's not even worth playing.
Sure.
So they have certain code manipulations like that.
Makes
but
sense.
It is random, and you can see different builds with different weapons and stuff. And they were talking about it on the stream, this is widely regarded as the best weapon to use. However, there was a comeback of this weapon when everybody thought it was so goddamn slow. Actually, this one runner got a world record with it, so everybody started doing that weapon instead of that bow, that kind of shit. So it was cool to hear them talk about that.
That's really cool. Yeah. I also know there was a Returnal run, according to chat, which I have not seen at all, but I'd be very interested in watching a Returnal run at GDQ.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That was a good one too.
I guess that's getting the true ending.
So really
be the goal there.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I don't know what the run consisted of, what the actual goal was.
Being able to speedrun it would have been really good when it came out and you couldn't pause the game. That would have been great.
Yeah, that's true. Couple other little tidbits of news.
Before we move on, I'm curious, just off the top of your head, JP, Cohh, Rami, what game would you speedrun?
Ooh.
I put this question out on Twitter a little while ago, and I got a lot of responses. Most of which were fucking trolly, "Who Bush?" I think they're funny.
Can I speedrun Transport Tycoon? Is that an option?
Maybe. I don't know.
What get a goal? I mean, anything you can have a goal.
Transport Tycoon.
Yeah,
I'll do
make it make
Tycoon.
$1 billion or something in Transport Tycoon.
I will 100%. I will 100% try to speedrun Transport Tycoon.
Usually it's how do you see the credits in the game? Is there a way to go to get to an ending where the credits roll?
You can beat your opponent. You can be the only player left. That's the best you can do. But I don't think
you set it up as
okay, so
AI
that doesn't count.
Opponents?
There's AI opponents. Yeah.
It's an interesting question because you have to take into account whatever you'd speedrun, you'd have to play a huge amount of time.
Yes.
You'd have to be playing it for the gameplay. You have to completely discount the story. You have to focus on the elements you like and what you'd like doing over and over and over again, fine tuning down to an art. For me, it'd probably be Hades. I could play Hades forever.
You played a lot of
awesome.
It already.
I love it. I'm actually considering going back and doing another run at some point in the nearish future, maybe after February. So yeah, I'd probably say Hades. I think that could be really fun. Also, what's cool about a game like Hades is because it's not 100% certain what you get every time, it would make it actually kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have, as you're learning, you'd have other runs where I feel like speedrunning games where you know exactly what's happening every time. You're fine tuning muscle memory.
Yeah.
At that point, it's a memory game. It's I have to hit up at this time and then right and then B and then A. Where if you do something like Hades or a game with a good RNG element, any game with an RNG element, it's more of a fine tuning reaction, kind of thing, which I think would be more interesting for me personally.
That's exactly the train of thought I followed. Is that I'm not good at muscle memory. I'm not good at memorizing stuff. So give me a game where it's a little bit of strategy and randomness because that would be fun.
Yeah. My mind immediately went to like Final Fantasy VI, but those runs are so long that I don't know if like training for that would probably drive me crazy.
Dude.
Well,
What's the guy's
Final
name that
Fantasy
does
games?
7 all the time? Caleb Hart.
Yeah.
Caleb Hart. He plays Final Fantasy 7. I don't know if he's still doing it, but he used to do it like all the time.
Yeah, that's
and like
too much.
there would get to the point where it's like just like certain points where certain things have to happen, or entire runs can hinge on like a 5-minute window reacting properly. And
Yeah.
oh,
That'd be
man.
too much.
Ooh.
I
He
think
still
I
does
would-
it. He's still doing it. Hell yeah, more power to him.
Oh, okay. I would probably settle on some sort of like Dark Souls run, whichever Souls would
Yeah.
be
Right.
the most fun for me. Whether it's maybe I'd go like maybe I'd be hipster and be like I'd Dark Souls, or I'd speedrun Dark Souls 2 or something like that. I'm sure no one plays
Yeah.
that one.
The new
Yeah.
Demon Souls. There you go.
Yeah.
No, the
something like
Speed
that.
Souls community is huge. It's one of the bigger
Yeah.
ones.
I would
for
say
sure.
that makes sense to me for sure.
Can I
What
speed
you
run
guys
game
talking about the
development?
Final Fantasy, like doing Final Fantasy and or like JRPG speedruns
Yeah.
is so much like a lot of times it's just so much tech and menuing in that like you have to manipulate the RNG, you have to
Well, 6 has a ton
know
of-
how to menu super fast,
Yeah.
you have to fucking get like you have to get used to all of the like every single step of the way a lot of times is a different give you a different outcome from what you want.
Yeah, I think 6 is major glitches with Realm and her whatever her ability is. I think you can like break that game immensely and just like skip to the end of the game or some shit via her like sketch ability.
For you, JP,
I
I'd love
think.
to see you speedrun to max rank in League of Legends. I think that would be.
I mean, that's currently what I'm doing, except I'm going down for some reason. Is that we're currently losing.
Is that a skip? Is that a glitch
Yeah,
that I don't know
so
about?
you try to get
It's
as
like-
low as you can.
It's like
and then you
going
start
around a
trying.
planet. It's like going around a planet in a spacecraft. It's trying to get caught in the gravity well.
Yes,
And he's just gonna
accurate.
hit the bottom and just right
Accurate.
back to the top.
I saw. I think that this is correct. I saw there was someone that said that they did Final Fantasy 14. They skipped every cutscene they could skip and only did the quest from A Realm Reborn to Endwalker, and it still took them 70 hours.
Oh god, yeah,
So
yeah absolutely. It's just, but can you imagine the play experience of that? That would be so boring. Don't get me wrong. I like Final Fantasy 14 is great, but it does not shine for its MMO,
no.
nouveau mechanics.
Yeah, it is a story-driven
Oh
game.
my god,
Yeah.
that'd be mind-numbing.
Yeah, it would.
With the qualifications of I like the game, I like how love the soundtrack, I like the way the game plays. The game I would honestly like speedrun would be Hotline Miami.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh, good choice.
yeah.
Good choice.
Okay,
Are you gonna play as
That's
me?
a great one.
You'd have good
that-
music.
Are you gonna play as me?
Oh, absolutely. Who are you?
Good, good, good. I'm the camel. It's called Rami.
Rami's in the game.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. What
I
did you think?
never put that together.
It's an Egyptian camel
I
called Rami.
never put that together. Oh my god, I had no idea. Holy shit.
Well, there you go.
How many Ramis do you know in the game?
Whoa. That's one of those obvious things that it just needs to be pointed out to you for you to get it.
Yeah.
Seriously. Wow.
We
Okay.
JW, my co-founder back at Vlambeer, when we were doing Vlambeer, is called Willem, Jan Willem. He's the monkey.
Mhm.
We helped
That's-
put the deal together between Devolver and Hotline, so that's why we ended
Wow,
up with the
okay.
tanks in the game.
There you
Yep.
go.
That's crazy.
Zeke, did you? Oh, Hotline Miami. Okay. I saw you were toying around, or maybe it was Northern Lion was saying to play Super Mario. He's been speedrunning Super Mario 64 on his channel this past couple of days / sometime last week. I don't know how long or if he's still doing it, but a couple other little tidbits of news. I actually want to play this game sometime. I don't know if Cohh or Zeke or even Rami have played it, but Deep Rock Galactic went on PlayStation Plus and now doubled its player base with
Mhm.
more than 6 million new players in a week because of that. And so they're just like kicking ass over at Deep Rock Galactic. Coffee Stain is the name of the studio. They're just over there crushing it. So It's one of those games I've always known existed. I've never jumped into, and I'm curious, like, what it's like. So we got to add that to the drop. And there's no fishing, Zeke. I don't think there's fishing in that game, so we can play it. We can do it on a DFG.
Golfstein is the publisher.
Yeah. Oh, they're the publisher. Okay. They're not the devs. I don't know.
My lady loved. She loves Rock Galactic.
Yeah.
Played it for quite a while.
Yeah.
It's exploding with the PlayStation stuff. Absolutely exploding.
Yeah. 6 million new people. That's
More power to them. That's
I
a
was
game
also
that I remember
surprised to
people.
see-
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Uh-oh.
I was just gonna say,
Blindness
I remember people telling me like so long ago to try it, and then it's just been getting better and better and better and better and better.
we got to try
and
it.
it's too. Yeah, absolutely.
We gotta do a DFG.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I'm in.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out whenever there's a slow week. Stalker 2 got delayed to December 8. Do you think that game comes out this year, Cohh? The old Stalker 2, do you think that gets pushed?
Well, okay. I'll be public about this because I'm assuming he was public about it. So, and he said it on stream, so I think it's fine. So there is another huge Stalker fan on Twitch. He's actually a huge EFT dude. Super chill guy. His name's Clean.
Okay.
I was hanging out in his channel, and because he was playing Stalker Anomaly, phenomenal mod, and we were talking about the Stalker 2 being pushed back. And one of the things that he mentioned is that he knows a guy that's involved in that, and he mentioned that the reason that they decided to delay it was because they're making the jump to UE5.
Oh.
And I think that's super interesting. I brought up the point where I was like, man, they're doing a full engine conversion in 7 months. They're pushing it back. That seems pretty big. I mean, he fired back that he thinks that, the upgrade from 4 to 5 isn't that bad, especially, if projects are structured properly. So here's the thing. Do I think it could be delayed again? I absolutely do. And I'm absolutely okay with it. If they are actually doing an engine switchover and it is so important they get that right. I personally have no idea how much work is involved. I hope it's only 7 months worth, but especially considering it's going to be a day one Game Pass release, and this is GSC, who, their games have had issues, but they do generally put the player first. I would really hope they're just going to do whatever they need to do to make it work. But I will say the prospect of Stalker 2 on UE5 is
that's anything
pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it already
give me UE5 all the time.
Beautiful. The stuff coming out from Stalker 2 already looked phenomenal, and it was, I'm 90% sure, not UE5. So I don't think we've seen anything from UE5 from it. So if that is the case, of course, again, this is all hearsay at the end of the day. But if that is the case, and they actually pull it off, amazing. But if they delay it again, 2 thumbs up. Take your time, dude. Like, we are not in a rush for Stalker 2. We've already waited years. We don't need a rushed shit release. Like, we just don't need it. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
So it's really important to get this right.
Chat is triggering me right now with you just click the upgrade to UE5 button.
Oh, I know, right? So wait. Chat is saying it's already UE5. So they when did they announce that it was UE5? Maybe they made that decision later or something. I'm not sure. I'll look into this more. But that's what I was told.
And they also need a few months to pull out the NFTs, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was a really the NFT implementation in that game was super, super light. So I would have been surprised if that would have taken a long time.
We're 11 months out, okay? The discourse of NFTs could change a lot between now and then, with enough people cramming it down our throats, okay? It could really change.
So many people are trying to. It's so ridiculous.
I know.
In games right now, it's atrocious. You go for you talk to investors. I was consulting a team. I can't speak to who it was, but I was consulting a team trying to get funded in games. They were trying to get $2 million, couldn't get it, added NFT to their pitch and got $4 million in 2 weeks.
I believe that, man. The amount of emails that as a streamer I get of you should be involved in the NFT, blah, blah. I'm just like, no, fuck off. But they're immense. And I'm not even that big of a streamer. So I know how crazy it gets when you get big.
And I have to admit, it's kind of weird because just me and Rami and Zeke were talking about it before the show. Just the basic understanding of what NFTs are is so warped. I was at there was a major component of it I fundamentally misunderstood. And that Rami helped me understand right at the beginning. And that is the fact, because I tweeted out are we doing this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
yeah.
We're doing this. Okay, so I tweeted out a thing today where I just wanted to make sure, man. I just want to make sure. Fine. Hold on, chat. We're doing this. Okay, so earlier I tweeted out, what happens if someone takes a picture of me that I took that I'm licensed, and they mint an NFT, and then they sell that NFT and they make money off it. Well, can I, as the owner of that image, at some point go, hey, that was sold and that's mine, and they didn't have my permission to do it, and get the money? And after speaking and kind of getting a bit more educated on this, the answer is no, absolutely not.
Correct.
And that's because my picture, my source material, was not the thing that was sold at all. The NFT is what was sold. And the thing is that NFTs are they are their own little receipt. You can take one image and there can be an infinite amount of NFTs for that image. So it doesn't matter who owns the right of the original image. It doesn't matter if the person that had the NFT has permission, because the things that are being bought and traded right now are these completely valueless little hash code JSON files.
Yeah. They're JSON.
That's what people are buying and selling. That's it. They're not buying and selling the art it's attached to. It doesn't even need to be attached to art. It can be anything. And all the art and that stuff is, at the end of the day, is just reference material. That's it. But the stuff that's actually being moved is the NFT itself. So like, I was confused because I played into the whole right-click save meme, where the people were posting the Bored Apes and they were like, haha, right-click save, it's mine now. But here's the thing: any one of those Bored Apes, anyone can just make their own NFT. They can mint their own NFT based on those JPEGs.
Right.
So like the whole meme doesn't even make sense, because you could just right-click save and make your own NFT, and then look, you own it now. Like, it's just
correct.
It's the whole thing's just
the weird thing about the whole thing is that the whole point of blockchain is to decentralize stuff, and the only way to stop bad things from happening is to centralize stuff, and the only way to make this make sense in the context of games, which is the most confusing thing about this whole thing, is to centralize it entirely.
Right? Or have total control over the environment.
Yeah.
You need to have total control over the entire stack from top to bottom to do NFTs in games and make it make sense. Like the whole Ubisoft thing with like selling armors, and then you can like. I just had a discussion with not a discussion. I yelled at Mike Shinoda for an hour straight on Twitter.
On Twitter,
over why it doesn't make sense, because the idea that you have an item that doesn't work within the game doesn't make sense, because you would have to bring it into another game, which means the other developer would have to make it, which is fuck ton of work for something that you paid another developer for. If I make Green Santa hat, you pay me money for Green Santa hat. Why would Activision do the work of implementing a Green Santa hat in their game that you paid me for, right? And then they go like, well, but what if you take it from bigger games? And then, well, you have all the money flowing to the top, because everybody will buy their NFTs in Fortnite. And I'm just supporting it for exposure now, so that the Fortnite players can play my game. So that's also not a good deal for me, right? So from a technical standpoint, it makes no sense. From a financial standpoint, it makes no sense. The whole thing that's happening, and you're seeing it everywhere, is people want in, make money, get out.
Correct.
Get out before the bubble bursts.
Yeah.
And that's what's even crazier, because like for the longest time, like on OpenSea, for instance, you'd see like these sales for $40, $50, $150,000, and they'll show a picture, and everyone's like, oh, they're buying, selling the receipt to write that picture. Not at all. They're literally, the picture it's like the title on a painting. It's just a reference. That's all it is. That's what this NFT is based on. They're literally selling just the line of code of 1 zeros and letters. That's what has the actual value. Which it makes it even more mind-blowing.
The scariest thing about this, right, is that whenever there's a context change in games, games change. When microtransaction, when DLC happened, when subscriptions happened, when Twitch happened, games changed. We change along with the context of games. When Twitch happened, we started making more roguelikes, more multiplayer games, more games that you can play over and over, because that was good for marketing, right? If this NFT thing takes hold of games, you can basically say goodbye to games being fun.
There's going to be NFT landscape.
Because then at that point, you make money in games. And if, as developers, we get a kickback from that. Say if you make money in a game, I get 1% of it. Imagine that ends up being the biggest thing. Then the best thing I can do is make something where you make as much money as possible. Not something that's fun, something where you optimize your earnings.
Right.
That's exactly what the Square Enix CEO was talking about. Like exactly. Where he's like, there's literally a percentage of gamers who would play that game.
Yeah.
Instead of a normal game. That's what they would do, is they would play just those games.
Yeah. And that's terrifying, because if that makes more money, it will happen more, just like microtransactions. Nobody in games like microtransaction. Back in 2011, all of us were laughing at the idea. And then we realized that, yeah, no, actually, shit, these people make like 5 times as much money as us, 10 times as much money as us, 50 times as much money as us. If that happens with NFT again, we're fucked, because I genuinely do not understand how you make a fun game where your main strategy is always to
To make
speedrun
money.
it to the
And then
highest value
here's
possible.
what's even crazier.
Yeah.
And let's
Right.
circle everything you just said back to the beginning of what you said about the investor getting $4 million for developing that product and not being able to get any money for developing a fun game. And it's like, that's exactly where it's heading. You're saying if games are going to head that way, that's exactly where it's going. And that's because that's where the money's going. That's where it's all flowing. So, but what I'm trying to say is get ready and hold on.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that statement as well. I've always said that. Like the 4 of us in our community, we
Hold on.
cannot dictate at all where any of this is going.
We-
Hold on.
The people that dictate it are the people that have the money to begin with, and you know, in the boardroom, so to speak. They want NFTs to
it's
start
important.
taking change. Like that's where they're gonna go. That's where it's gonna go.
I think it's important right now. It's important in games that when this stuff comes up, that it is made clear that we don't want it.
That's what I'm with
Right.
Stalker.
It's important, and that's why. Yeah, that's what happened with Stalker. It's what happened with Ubi. Which, by the way, somebody ran the numbers. Ubi was making like $300 on their entire NFT thing.
Yeah.
currently. They barely made any money
Patrick
on the
put
whole
out a
thing.
really good article
already out?
on Vice. Yeah.
This is we're talking about Ubisoft Quartz right now, right?
Yes, it apparently.
Someone did like a
apparently
beta
made no
test
money.
of it.
Good.
They're doing the money on the beta test of it. I think Vice had the article on that where they basically went and talked to the people that bought like whatever the armor was initially. A very good article about it. So
But yeah, no, like it's scary. And I will say, as somebody in the industry, it's really scary. It's really scary because I have seen this happen before with free to play. This weird split where half of the people are just chasing the money, some of the people are seeing the philosophical advantage. Right, with free to play, people said like, well, but isn't it unfair that when people want to play a game, they have to pay us $40 before they can try whether they like it? Isn't it more fair if they can try it for free? And if they like it, they can just give us as much money as they want to give us. And from an ideological perspective, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But then you realize that in reality, we're game developers. We're really fucking good at making you believe certain things are worth something. On reality, we're just increasing your number, but you believe it's a high score. So to you, it matters. You believe that that bunch of polygons that were created is a character. So that character matters. But it's all smoke and mirrors. My job is to lie to players in a way that they like. Right? That's all of our jobs, is to lie about the reality that you're in and for you to believe it and then enjoy it. Right? But also we can use that. We can use that same strategy to make you believe that you really should buy this $1 item. You really should buy this NFT. You really can earn more money with this NFT. You really can be rich if you invest in this NFT. If any industry is good at making people believe that, it's games. And that's fucking terrifying to me. It's scary. This whole thing is fucking scary.
yeah.
I find it interesting though, because I feel like there's a part of perspective, especially on the lying thing. Because like, I mean, does an actor feel that in their craft their entire job is just lying to the audience, or are they creating these experiences for them? You know, I feel like there's different ways
Those are kind of
to
the same
look
thing.
at that.
Yeah.
It is kind of
They're
the
kind
same
of the
thing,
same
but it's a
thing,
very
right.
different thing depending on the perspective you take on it.
Yes.
So like I think that
Yeah.
comes down to like passion and perspective, and more importantly, goal of the project you're doing. But
I think ultimately it's still important that we lie in such a way that you believe it. Because otherwise
Sure.
it doesn't work. Right? Like, because
Yeah.
the reality is that I'm just increasing 12 to 14. For you, that's like, I got a better weapon now. Right? And I earned this. I deserve this. In reality, we might just be giving it to you because you had a shitty day and you had a bad roll 6 times in a row. You know? It's kind of our job to but I think there's no maybe lie is too strong a word. You may be right.
I was going to say,
Like,
because I mean, you're also saying like a fun game mechanic,
Yeah.
like, you know, and
Like-
you're creating fun game mechanics.
Right.
I wouldn't say those are like inherently lying to the player. You know, like
Well,
you're
here's-
trying to give them a good fun experience.
I think
Right.
that's
so
a
they
rather
enjoy it.
that's
So,
a
like-
rather base level thing.
Yeah,
'cause
but I mean, I think you're right. You're right at the end of the day. Let's be real. You're right.
At the
You're
end of
right.
the
You're
day,
absolutely
he's right because-
I just tried to phrase it better, so I
Yeah.
feel better
Yeah.
about it.
right, Rami's
Right.
effectively doing step 1. Step 10 is when they hire a psychologist so that they actually make the player feel whatever they want them to feel so that they do spend that money. That's where we're on step
Or
10.
hedge fund.
Rami's talking
Yeah.
about step 1.
Rami is at step 1.
Yeah.
That's a good way to
Yeah.
say it.
Because there's very much like manipulation tactics in free-to-play games.
They're scary.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
There's people's
Have you
jobs
ever read
that
that
their
shit?
entire job is to figure out
They-
how to get as much money out of a player. Yeah.
They fucking figure out which color
Psychologists do
button
that.
makes people press the button more.
Yeah.
Like they flip the
Mobile games
place
been doing
of
that for
button.
years. Yeah.
Like
Dude, yeah.
the fucking data they have on people is fucking horrifying. And this is the thing I'm scared of. I don't know what NFT means, but it effectively means that we have a transparent, fully accessible ledger of how people spend money, where people spend money, on what people spend money, at what time people spend money. We can collect that back to the games, to how the games work. And people say decentralized. Fuck that bullshit.
It's all
No way. This is 100. OpenSea is centralized. The whole thing is
Yeah.
centralized. It's all bullshit. People are lying to people's faces about what this thing is. It's not about decentralization. It's about centralization. It's not about people earning money. It's about people spending money, right? It's the whole thing is fucked up. The whole thing is fucked up, and it's coming to games. And I really need people to understand that this is bad, right? That's why I've been yelling on
There's
Twitter.
not going to
but
be
this is-
winners in this that are
bad.
normal gamer will
Well,
not
we
be
won't
winning
be
this.
winners.
Exactly. There will be winners
There will
making
be
money,
winners.
but the people
Yeah.
that enjoy games for the passion projects that they hope they all theoretically are, there will be no winners for that.
Yeah. The winners are already winners. Is
Right.
essentially
They'll win more.
Yeah,
They're
They'll
just
win
going to
harder.
win more. Is all that is.
Good point.
Yeah.
It's fucked
Yeah.
up.
That's the way to look at it.
I feel like we should honestly. I feel like we should have Rami on at least once every month or two
For an
and
NFT
have, like,
update?
The NFT update with Rami.
I'm
And we
down.
no, seriously.
I
We just
agree.
kind of
I
like
think
crack
that's
how this
brilliant.
is moving through our industry.
Yeah.
We talk about like the newest examples, the newest stuff happening. I would much rather have my finger and fully understand this and have it on the pulse instead of being blindsided when something like comes down and completely warps our understanding of our own space. So
I agree.
Rami, if you're up for it, man.
Yeah, I'm
Like-
up. I mean,
Okay.
if
We'll
the
give you
more
the
I can yell
platform for
about
it.
how bad this is,
Yeah.
the better.
Now this just means we're gonna have to make sure your Twitter rants die down and those rants show up on the show.
Because we don't want to be targeted by
I mean-
Phil.
Yeah.
As long as Mike Shinoda doesn't go crazy on Twitter.
Well,
again.
we're actually gonna surprise that Mike Shinoda
Oh,
has
no.
been Zeke this entire time. Mike, please take off your mask.
In the end, it doesn't even matter, bitch.
Mike Shinoda sold a lot of NFTs.
Oh,
No,
man.
I've been sitting here silently, and I'll tell you what I've been thinking about. When you brought up the fact that like video game developers are, and I know you're not paraphrasing, but you're making a generalized statement about video game developers being liars and being very good liars.
Mhm.
And I was just thinking about how many hours I've spent playing video games because they were engineered to tickle parts of my brain, and how many hours, like hundreds and hundreds of hours I've spent playing video games. What if I was doing like real world shit with those hours, and like I could have had it like my house would look like a fucking palace by now. Like it would be like
But here's the
amazing.
thing.
Everything would be clean. I'd have a new fence. I'd have like, a contoured yard. It'd be great. Like you are good liars. Holy shit.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Like the thing about the lie is that you're effectively paying us to be lied to feel better,
It's all dopamine.
to have something to do,
called
to
entertainment,
be
Rami.
distracted.
Yeah.
That's entertainment. That's what we do. That's the same thing as a movie. It's the same
Or
thing as a book.
shows or anything.
read a book,
Absolutely.
And they're going
for sure.
like, in a galaxy far, far away, and you're like, fucker, there are no other galaxies with people in there, and there's definitely no spaceship called the Milan. Why the fuck are they speaking English in this other galaxy? Like, we're lying,
Yeah.
but we're lying in agreement with you. You accept the lie. Like, here's one of the funny problems about being a game developer. If you accept that you're being lied to, you believe it. If you reject that you're being lied to, you get speedrunners. They're just rejecting the lie. They're just like, no, there is no story. There is no high score. There's the clock.
This wall's not a
There's
wall.
a clock. There's a machine. I'm inputting into machine, but I don't care about your lies. I'm 100% cutting your lies out of this. That's a speedrunner.
It's true.
That's
But-
still a game. You're still having
A
fun. You're
speed,
still playing.
but the thing is, the funny thing is, the game choice that a speedrunner selects usually starts with them the willful suspension of disbelief,
Yeah.
buying the lie.
Yep. And then eventually they like the game enough, and they keep tinkering with it, and then they cut the lie away until eventually they're just inputting into a machine and making their own game on top of our now just a machine, no longer a
At
lie.
that point,
no
it becomes a
longer world.
sandbox, even if it's not a
Yeah.
sandbox, because they're just doing their own. They're playing with their own toys in their own environment and for their own reasons.
Here's
Exactly
the fun
that.
part as a streamer is we're paid to be a part of that lie.
This whole thing.
Yeah.
Whole thing's wild.
We're just
People are
sellers of
watching me
lies.
buy
That's all
the
we
lie.
are.
Yeah.
We're
Making
lie
money.
peddlers.
That's right.
That's it.
100%.
I've started some
Am I in an
philosophy
ad
problems.
right now?
Yeah, this might be 100%.
Do I need to declare this?
And
You
that's
see why drunk Zeke was able to talk to Rami the first time he met him? Whoa, dude. Whoa.
Luckily, here's the thing. We're going to have my friend DMCAR streams. We'll be back next week with more viewers. It'll be all the rage. We'll see it. We're also going to launch some clothing lines, I think. Next Wednesday, we'll have some new announcements. It'll be a good time. But yeah, we're over. So we got to wrap the call. We got to wrap the show and then circle back. Yeah, I guess both.
The show is also a lie. It's technically just a call.
It's just a call. Yeah,
Not
we're
show.
not all in the
Yeah.
same world, the same metaverse.
I'm actually completely naked. This is just my VTuber avatar.
It's true. It's true.
No,
It-
you guys are all in my head right now. That I'm the only thing that
He's
actually
still asleep.
exists.
Zeke's still asleep.
We're all a dream in Zeke's head.
I
It's true.
would believe that. No, there's no way. I'm way too dressed to be a dream in Zeke's head. That's not a. That's not, no way,
That's
That's
different.
that's eye opening.
Yeah, something opening. Let's do some shout outs. We'll wrap the show. Zeke, start us off. What do you got going on?
bet.
What's coming up?
Oh man, what's up, everybody? Thank you, Rami, for joining us for episode 300 of Drop Frames. I didn't think I'd make it this long. I honestly didn't. I thought I have such a like a self-deprecating view of myself. I'm like, they're gonna get sick of me after 10 episodes and ask me to, gracefully bow out. But they haven't. They put up with me for 300 episodes, and I could not be more grateful. Thank you, itmeJP and Cohh Carnage, for being those friends to me for all these years. If you want to check me out, I'm at Ezekiel_II on everything. I'm in the middle of CD-ROM-a-thon. And what does that mean? Well, I'm playing CD-ROM games all the entire month of January and nothing else. So we played a little bit of No One Lives Forever 2. Did that for a stream, and that game is fantastic. And it's quite a big game. So there's no way I'm going to be able to finish it and have as much time as I want to play other games. So we're going to put that aside for now. Possible chance I go back to it at some point down the road. But it's my choice next. And the next game I have not chosen yet. But it's looking like the game after that, which is Chad's choice, is going to be either Oregon Trail 3rd Edition or what was in second place? I forget. 1 second. Just give me 1 second. There it is, right there. Thank you. Little Big Adventure 1 and 2. So those that have been switching the leads out back and forth, it's probably going to be one of those two. So, yeah, all the month of January, if you want to come get nostalgic with me, I install and get the games running usually. You know what? It might be time. My
Uh-oh.
choice. Ooh. I might be missing a disc for it. I'm going to say Black Dahlia, which is my white whale. I've never got that game installed and working. I'll have to check. Okay, I'm done. But
Okay.
yeah, I'll be back on Tuesday. Monday's my day off, so I'll be back on Tuesday with another CD-ROM game at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Great. Cohh, what's going on? Do some shout outs.
Sure. Hi, everybody. First of all, I definitely echo the same sentiments as Zeke. It's been a wild 300 episodes. Just so it is clear, we did get sick of Zeke after 10 episodes. We just couldn't find anyone else to fill the spot. But
Everyone
we still
was
appreciate
busy.
him
Like,
being here.
yeah.
It's true. It's been crazy. But no, real talk, it's been a blast, and it's been a lot of fun, and I definitely look forward to continuing the show. That being said, I also want to give a big thank you to Rami for not only coming on for all of his expertise, but also explaining NFTs. Also, I want to thank you guys. I know that many of you are so tired about hearing about NFTs, but understand it's important to understand. It's important to keep our finger on this pulse. Like, these things are coming, and the more prepared we are, the better. So I know it's tiring sometimes, but thank y'all for sticking around while we do it. And hopefully we will keep going from there. Now on to me. My name is Cohh. Hi. I'm going to be playing God of War and Prey, probably some Wasteland 3, some other fun games here and there. We just finished up Stasis and Kane. I'm sad we didn't get a chance to talk about those because, oh my God. Also, quick note, we were selected as one of a handful of streamers to show off a special Dying Light 2 side quest. I don't have the exact date yet, but if you want to check out Dying Light 2, like being played, the full game and everything, we're going to be doing a side quest for Dying Light 2 at some point live on stream in the next little bit. So pretty awesome. And yeah, hope to see you not only in the channel for all the stuff we're doing now, we'll also be doing Rome expeditions and stuff coming up. But then in February, we've got Dying Light 2, Sifu, Horizon, Elden Ring, all sorts of fun stuff. Hope to see you there. And as always, thanks for watching.
Awesome stuff. Rami, any shout outs, any NFTs, any new lies you got? Why are you so
wow,
small?
where am I? What is happening?
All right, Rami,
What is,
do your shout outs.
okay,
here.
much better. Yeah, okay. So,
I've
wow,
got
is
you.
it just because I'm tall? This is because I'm taller than you, isn't
I've
it?
got
It's
you
because I'm
fixed.
taller
There
than
we go. You're good to go.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I play, what does this say? I play Flight Simulator and Destiny 2, which is a game about a horse that represents the consciousness about our planets, really wanting to do a nighttime television game show, and you participate in it as a space zombie. This is the kind of level of lying we do. Yeah, no, thanks so much, as always. Thanks so much for being an amazing audience and being... I should talk more like this now. Being an amazing audience. And yeah, I will be on Twitter, DHA_Rami. And yeah, fuck NFTs.
There you go.
Did you,
There you go.
did you know I'm the camel from Hotline Miami too? Hotline Miami? Did you know that was me?
Oh, you have an actual modulator? That's great.
Yeah.
Shit, I have to do that with my voice.
A little thing. Anyways, that's it. We're done. Rami, we are definitely down to have you on like once a month for a NFT talk. Maybe that's the name of the segment. NFT talk with Rami.
Can I just yell fuck for like the full like segment?
That's the intro.
And we go,
it's gonna be you just screaming fuck, and then I'll like warp you in spinning back and forth like that, and then I'll say this is NFT time with Rami. And then
if you watch that for like 30 episodes, you just see me shriveling and like getting grayer and like sadder and more depressed.
Well, like that Family Guy segment with the weather guy. They're like, now Ollie with weather. It's gonna rain. Like,
yes.
Now for the NFT minute with Rami. Fuck! And that was the NFT minute.
Correct. It's correct.
Perfect.
All right.
Love y'all.
We're gonna call it a show. I gotta take the dog out. He's biting my fucking leg because he wants to go outside. So we're out of here. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week for episode 301. We're out.
Congrats, y'all.
Thanks again. Bye bye.
Thank you.